In the questions, there was someone who wanted to know if I can tell about a non-dual experience which I had. No, I cannot. I can not, because I was not there when it happened. So it's not a tricky answer I'm giving you, but the non-dual experience is exactly that the observer is not present in the experience. The way one notices that the mind is non-dual is in the beginning, afterwards. There is a special suppleness, Geschmeidigkeit, a special openness of the mind, a special clarity, and then this enormous fluidity and clarity and freshness which is there is an indicator of what has happened before. And I've become used to such moments or such stretches occurring during the day, during the night, but there is no way you could describe them, okay? To describe them is, you can go by the after effect, which can be described, which is an enormous simplicity, which includes that the whole Dharma becomes clear to you, that there is the understanding, so everything comes absolutely easy. It's like as if you had the key to understand all the teachings. But this is afterwards, okay? Within, I can, of course, notice, for as long as the observer is there, I can notice decreased, smaller states of dualistic awareness. And when that's completely in the flow, then there is not this awareness of me doing something. So that has, with the time, it has become more familiar. And so you have to do with that. I cannot say more about it. I can only tell you that all the masters, they say the same thing. You cannot describe these states. For me, I can tell you the first experience I had, how surprised I was afterwards. I was feeling like, how is it possible? It's so easy. Why, how is it possible I didn't see that before? How is it possible that that simplicity was never there before? I was striving so hard to get through to this nature of mind, to this awakening and so on. And of course, I cannot get through. And I had simply forgotten myself. It had happened seemingly at the end of an out-breath, just forgetting myself, and that was it. Okay. And then slowly, I noticed what I noticed was the dual experience of slowly coming back into the dualistic awareness. This one can notice, but not before. Okay. Then I'm reading Miriam's question. She wrote in French. Okay. Miriam is saying that due to the instruction a few days ago, that she has been practicing with this open sense of vision, where she sees the whole visual field. And this is similar to a 3D cinema experience, but closer. And then when, for example, a leaf is moving, actually she feels the sensation of the moving leaf in the body, as if she were feeling a wave. And she wants to know if that's correct. Miriam, yes. What you are experiencing is that with relaxed way of seeing, you're actually able to resonate, to vibrate much more finely with whatever you see. So seeing a movement, or you will notice when you see a facial expression, the face, the expression of someone in the face changing, you immediately feel so much insight. And this is our normal resonance, which you are beginning to feel. That's the basis of compassion. To allow for that resonance, like being one drum with, like this classical Tibetan drums with two sides in a room with another drum, and you beat one drum and the other drum starts vibrating. Okay? We are like that. We start vibrating, we start resonating with any phenomena in our sensory field, with every sound, with every sight, with every thought, with every smell, with every taste, and so on, physical sensations. There is more of us coming into movement. And now what you experience is a wonderful example of that sensitivity coming into awareness. Now, let's use that sensitivity. Let's not block it. But in order to use it, to make good use of it, we have to become very spacious, like space, like outer space, that these many sensations, this resonance phenomena, that they can move through and that we don't block them. Otherwise, we will get very tired. We will get quickly overwhelmed. We have to make space, and they will disappear as quickly as all other sensations. But if we fight with them, if we feel we're getting overwhelmed, we feel like too much, then actually we are fighting with the impressions, and this will not make us enjoy that heightened sensitivity. So thank you very much for the question. And then Beatrice has a question. But this was only written to me. Yes, Beatrice has the experience that when she breathes out, that sometimes it takes a long time until she breathes in. And that is a very slight feeling of breathing in and out which is left. And almost not feeling it anymore. It's agreeable and feels like a wave in the body. But she's having some fear that perhaps something could happen there, and I can tell you, please just allow that. It's a very normal thing that the breath becomes so subtle that you cannot feel it anymore. You don't risk anything. You don't have to watch out that your body is getting enough breath. You're not in a form of apnea or something, where you have to take care. No, it's a very normal phenomenon of shamatha practice that the breath becomes imperceptible. Okay? Let's go back to teaching and meditating. I mean, this was teaching, but let's go back to the formal teaching. I want to link back to the last instruction I gave you before the break. Remember, seeing and being in the flow. And I invited you to let the eyes wander and to feel inwardly as the eyes are wandering, whether you are still in the flow or whether there is something blocking the process. And then I also asked you to just remain in one place and to continue being completely supple, being completely relaxed without grasping, to help you make the experience that you can stay focused while being in the flow. This is an important aspect of Shamatha practice. Because then, whatever object, whatever support we will use for meditation, we can join it with that suppleness. The classical thing is to meditate on one visual object, to meditate on a recurrent sound, like for example the sound of a little river, little stream. Or to meditate with physical feelings. Or, more advanced, to also meditate on the flow of thinking processes. Flow of all perceptions. Now, whatever you choose, the importance in Mahamudra Shamatha is that we don't focus on the thing we see, we hear, we feel, we perceive. We rest in that open awareness of just being aware, and in a very stable way, without clinging to it. So actually, although we call it meditation with an object, with a focus in shamatha, actually we are practicing the suppleness of mind. Actually, our alertness watches out for when we begin to cling to the object of meditation, when we begin to label, when we begin to feel attached, when we begin to feel aversion, when we begin to make effort. So somehow the object we meditate on is just an excuse to heighten the awareness for the inner processes. It's an anchor. Sorry to say excuse, but it's an anchor. It facilitates the awareness of these inner processes. So, example, while I'm talking and you are listening, we can understand our words and I can pronounce a sensible teaching while maintaining an awareness of being in the flow, of being the flow, of non-grasping. That's possible while you listen, and somehow you can feel that you even understand better. You understand on a deeper level. The intuitive faculties of talking and hearing are more present. We are not so focused on the concepts. So please train this in all situations of life. So this is another important point, that the practice of supple, flexible presence is carried into all activities, whatever it might be. And the focus is not when we do walking meditation, for example. The focus is not to be able to feel all the sensations of walking, but how supple and flexible the mind is while walking. Now, if you take asanas in yoga practice, the emphasis is not on feeling all the details of what's happening, that's very nice, but whether the mind and body are supple, are open to the experience. So to open up is more important than actually what precisely we feel. So to give you such examples, so as we ride bicycle, the importance is not Of course, we can do that to feel all the movement, but actually is to be in that supple, receptive awareness as we are doing a continuous movement of riding the bike. So you can extend this for all other activities, and you will notice that this inner focus, while we have an outer support. The outer support is the candle we are meditating on, the asana we are doing, bicycle riding, whatever. This is the outer support. The inner focus is always the same. Open mind, relaxed, and we will experience an incredible stability due to that. We will see that although we change training objects, we train in all areas of our life with different forms of meditation, also like visualizing deities in tantric practice, we use mantra flow and so on, but the inner practice always stays the same. And that answers also again the question of the beginning of this session. The shamatha might feel to you like a preliminary, but actually, if you do it with that suppleness, it will become Mahamudra. When Genpo Rinpoche was teaching shamatha, shine in Tibetan, sometimes we listened to him and we asked, he's teaching Mahamudra, he's not teaching shamatha. So actually then he told us, well, I'm teaching you Mahamudra Shine, Mahamudra Shamatha. Actually, it becomes Mahamudra the very moment that you are completely supple. At the very moment you relax into the experience, it is Mahamudra. You don't have to change practice. You practice shamatha for as long as you need it. And shamatha actually opens into that natural presence. And this is due to the insight processes which happen in that practice. So, yes, let us practice more. Let us do it. But the last points here which I wanted to cover today, I wanted to talk about the joy and enthusiasm to cultivate this supple state of mind, a strong motivation to actually do it, and then the intense guru yoga that is helping us to do it. And then, as we invite the guru, we let the Guru meditate in us. We dissolve the Guru in us and we meditate. Now, let's use a shortcut. Imagine that you walk through a landscape and you're very attracted to a place over there. You see some incredible presence there. It looks like light, but it's not actually light. And as you come closer, you see a real Buddha sitting there. Female or male, doesn't matter. And this presence, this master, invites us to sit down and to just meditate. And the presence is so powerful, so inviting, so loving, that actually we allow it to happen. We are in the most beautiful scenery, just as we need it, in the presence of a being who invites us to be there, just like her, just like him. Whenever we try to do something in our meditation, there's like a voice, don't do anything. Just allow things to happen. Let the Guru meditate. As we are in this space with our Master, we notice that feeling, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, being aware, all of that happens naturally. Nothing to do. And in all areas, there is the same fluidity of mind. And actually that fluidity is identical to the changing nature of all experiences. The process nature of so-called phenomena of our experiences is identical to the dynamic nature of our mind. Notice the attempts of our habitual patterns to fix on this experience, to hold it, No. Let it flow on. It needs to change. It's its nature to change. We are allowed to enjoy that, to sit with the Guru, meditating, to feel the ease and the simplicity. And of course, to enjoy it always gives more joy. If we don't cling to it, if we don't want it, but it's a natural occurrence that we will enjoy that kind of open being. And as we move towards activity, then no need to be less flexible. We can continue in the same way. You can start moving and enjoy the movement. We can talk, we can read, we can do whatever, enjoy whatever forms of communication with that same flexible mind. And that would be the way to let everything become meditation. Meditation means Yes, it also means training, but the proper meaning of the word bhavana in Sanskrit and gom in Tibetan in the Buddhist tradition is to become familiar with. Becoming familiar means to become familiar with one's mind, to become familiar with just how it is to relax, to become familiar with that increasing suppleness, flexibility. Familiarizing ourselves with those qualities of mind gives us a feeling of coming home, of being at home. And that's a typical feeling of shamatha. Shamatha practice means to experience inner peace and a feeling of coming home, of not being a stranger to ourselves, not being besides ourselves, but actually completely there, nothing to do, like at home, like a good home. If you still have your master sitting there with you, you can still continue, or you can say goodbye until next time. So, let's dedicate together. Sunam deye tamje simpane tamne ne pedanam bamjene kengana timbala trapayi si pezzole drova drova jo jambe bawan jita kampanang kundu sambo deyande shintu Deda kunje jesu da lonjeng Gawan deda damje damdungo Sangye kuson ebenjen lamdan Chene menjun dembenjen lamdan Gende mijen dembenjen lamji Jidang owamen lamdum hajo. Thank you very much.